All eyes on Doge. Big run up. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big run up. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Upward movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Upward movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.60. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome on a Sunday afternoon, evening, wherever you are. We got green in the market today on a Sunday. We didn't have a Sunday dump, so things are looking good so far. Recovery, perhaps, a little early to tell, but I never drew the brown box. I never drew the brown box because I didn't even want to deal with that. So, do I think the bottom is in? Short term, sure. Longer term, we'll take a look at it. I got some charts to show you that may answer that question, all right? May answer that question. Yes, the red box, then the purple box. Yes, Miss Charlotte, we will check that out. Let's get started right here, of course, with the crypto bubbles today. I see a lot of green. You guys see a lot of green on that? I see a lot of green. So a good Sunday. It's a good Sunday. Look at H-bar. Look at Hedera here, up 16%. Not bad. Doge is up 5%, but H-bar making a big run. So H-bar is already up over 15 cents. So Doge has some catching up to do with H-bar. But yeah, this is good in the market today. So XRP up 7, XLM up 10. So yeah, we're looking good. I like green. Green's a good color. Crypto Rover says, look, Michael Saylor posted, I won't back down. Now, I don't know what that's about because, I mean, there's a lot of FUD going on about like MicroStrategy, right? It's going to go under and declare bankruptcy and they'll have to sell all their Bitcoin and stuff. And I'm just like, so much negativity out there, you know? So much negativity out there. I won't back down. I guess it's just going to keep buying Bitcoin. It's a better price now than when it was over 110, 115. He was buying Bitcoin up there, raising his average, right? Or MicroStrategies, strategy B, whatever the hell it's called. So that was big on Twitter today. And I'm just like, just whatever. But Crypto Rover does say, look, capitulation usually marks local bottoms. So is the bottom in? Well, this is called the capitulation metric, which seems to go on big spikes whenever Bitcoin drops down in price. Well, look at it now. It's like totally off the chart, the highest it's been in the last 2 years, because we're in extreme fear, which has been the lowest on the extreme fear dial. Now it's come up, it's tipped up a little bit, but that's pretty bad. And there's no doubt, it's been a big, 35% pullback on Bitcoin since its all-time high over the last month and a half. No doubt, right? But what does that mean? Well, it means a lot of people panicked and we may not be out of the woods yet, but it is a sign that every time we've had these big spikes before, right, Bitcoin has turned around and come up. So that's what I'm looking at. Ash Crypto says, look, based on the 2021 cycle, where do you think Bitcoin is right now? Do you think we are after the first all-time high that Bitcoin hit at $64,000, which was like February, March 2021, before the big May pullback? Or do you think we're at number 2, where Bitcoin went on a second run, went all the way up to 69K, and then pulled back and then into the bear market? What are we in? Number 1 or number 2 right now with the big pullback? It could have been the first pullback or the second pullback here, looking back at 2021. We don't know, remains to be seen, but either way, there's either a big run coming up which goes even higher, or there's going to be a relief rally and then it's going to drop lower. So those are the options we have ahead of us now, but both of them point to at least some higher prices in the short term. We will be watching. Bitcoin Archive said, hey, is there $100,000 by New Year's Eve? Can Bitcoin get there? And after 7,200 votes, it was 50-50. It was a 50-50 tie. That just tells you, because typically people who follow the Bitcoin Archive account are very bullish. But because there's so much extreme fear in the market right now, we got a lot of no votes that they don't think Bitcoin's going to be able to recover to 100,000 by the end of the year. So again, just another sign, like nobody knows. Nobody knows. Which of course makes it tough for me to sit here and say, hey, relief rally, we're going higher, when we don't know. I mean, we look back at 2021, right? There was a relief rally. We look back in 2017, or after the 2017 high, there was a pullback, and then there was a relief rally, right? 2021, there was a high, a pullback, and a relief rally. In 2014, there was a high, a pullback, and a relief rally. So these relief rallies do come, and we could be at the beginning of one now. It just remains to be seen again whether this is a full-blown relief rally, or is it going to be like a relief rally, like it's going to be recovery, versus a relief rally where the price then drops down. That's what we don't know. Khan, don't tell me what to do. Okay? Just, it's a chart. Dude, don't get me started. It's a chart. The chart makes sense, Khan. The chart makes sense. We have had relief rallies in the past. He's not saying that it's most definite, but history often repeats. And that's what we're here to talk about. Dude, come on. Come on, dude. How about Ali? Can I show Ali? Do I have your permission to show Ali's chart? That his TD sequential indicator just printed a buy on Dogecoin? Yes, printed a buy on Dogecoin when Dogecoin was 13.9. Well, guess where Dogecoin is now? 14.7. It's going up. Hey. It's going up. So maybe Ali's right on this one. It's not a reverse Ali, but it's actually, we may have hit the bottom there at the 13s, and now we're going up. Maybe. How about Trader Allen? You like him? Hey, Trader Allen, we got a MACD bullish crossover. Price is coming back up. On the 4-hour, Dogecoin is approaching the descending trend line, which is acting as resistance. So we will see when we get up. 14.8, 14.9. Are we going to hit that resistance and pull back, or might we break through it? We shall see. Again, all of these are indecision points. There's nothing definite. There's nothing definite in the future here. We can go Amelia Crypto and we can say, hey, look, Doge is buried deep at the bottom right now, right? We're hurting. We're hurting. Of course, this was yesterday, was this chart. I wasn't streaming yesterday, but like, I don't think that's going to happen, right? That big green line going up there like that. But the point is, the ones who survive the dump are the ones who earn the pump. So if you capitulated, right, with the pullback, fear just made you sell and you're out, I can't help you. Those that have conviction are the ones who end up doing well. So now it's not going to do this. It's not going to just go straight up to 60 cents by the end of the year. Unless, right? Unless with Dogecoin, we get some big catalyst, because then Doge can actually pump. But without it, Doge isn't going to do this. But how do you make money in crypto? You buy low and you sell high, right? You don't buy high and sell low. That never works in crypto. It never works. We don't know where the next high is going to be and when it's going to be. But if you believe and you accumulate, that's the only chance you have. But if you're fearful and you just sell and you're out, I mean, you're not risking anything anymore. And from that, you're going to be cautious and you're going to play it safe. I get that, but you shouldn't be putting money into the crypto market in the first place that you need for anything else. So there it is. There it is. So that's what's going on. Dogecoin 1468, Bitcoin 87.68. Bitcoin is still marching upwards here. This is the 30-minute chart, just looking at what's going on now. 2,800 for ETH. Solana had a nice run this morning, going up now over 132. Again, of course, these are all lower prices than we would have liked them to be here in November, right before Thanksgiving. But Hedera has been on the biggest run here, now up 14.5% on the day. So how are you guys doing? Everything all right with you guys? I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. Oh, I just messed that up. Hold on. There we go. Back at it. At one point where 16 cents was support, I thought we were going to double the 48 from 2024. Now I have no idea. I get it. I get it. Long and strong, Sean. Every time we drop, I buy a little. Buying on the dips, DCAing. All good. Bonk did not look good. So you sold some Bonk and bought some Dogecoin and some other cryptos with it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Aurelio, don't post that kind of crap here. No. Buying seed phrases is dumb. Bonk. Yeah, Bonk gained to 0. Bonk is hurting. It's now up to 0.00009, but yeah, it's got to drop the 0, get back from where it was here on Thursday when it was above 10. So we're looking for that for Bonk. But yeah, I get it, well, right? Bonk not doing well. 1469 for Doge. It's been a good trading day today so far. Up with Doge. Hey, what's up? Fly one CBS, I guess. A recovery day. That's what it's looking like. And earlier, Jason, I did point out different charts showing possible relief rallies, so you might want to take a look at that. That was just like 10 minutes ago. I went over the relief rally charts. ETF tomorrow, Josh. Tomorrow, the grayscale spot Dogecoin ETF begins trading tomorrow. Is that going to make the price of Dogecoin spike? No, it's not. And there'll be accounts that will post fun. Oh, it gets an ETF and doesn't matter. It's just, it'll be some slow and steady buying of Dogecoin at the start. And then as we've seen what happens with the Bitcoin ETF and the ETH ETF, when there's fear in the markets, the paper hands ETF holders are going to sell. They're going to sell. So the fireplace is gas. It's on. It's heating up my back. I have the pilot on. It's just the pilot. I don't have a big flame behind me, but it's on. Hey, John, how are you? Avalanche. Yeah, what happened with AVAX? $13. Boy, it really flattened out, didn't it? It's in its own brown box, looks like. Yeah, $13 avalanche. Yeah, it was $35 here going into the end of September, from 35 to 13, and it's not recovering right now. It is just flattened out here, hasn't it? I don't know what's going on with Avalanche. I haven't heard any specific news about it. Let's go, Doge. The 7-year cycle thing is back. Yeah, that was talked about 6 months ago. I remember seeing some 7-year cycle charts, but yeah, very possibly December 2024 was Dogecoin's top for this cycle. That's very possible. But there's still some big catalysts out there that could drive Dogecoin's price back up. And I'm waiting for that. BTC approaching 88. There won't be a short squeeze. I don't think Bitcoin is in that. There's not enough positivity in the market for a true short squeeze to happen. You really have to have some big positive news for short squeeze. And we don't have that. We don't have that. CoinGlass is slow on the heat map here. Let's take a look at what the heat map looks like. Let's zoom out a bit and take a look. Back to the weekly. I know there's some big shorts up much higher. We looked at this one up here at like 93, 94K. But here a little closer, we've got 88.7. That is in play. That wouldn't be that hard to get. And that's $226 million right there on that yellow line. So they've gradually been picking off some of these short traders. But a short squeeze, I wouldn't count on that. I wouldn't count on that. Let's see how Doge looks on the weekly heat map. Now there's some big shorts up here, right over 16 cents. Look at that huge cluster, over 16 cents. That we need to see a big Dogecoin pump to take that out. There's one yellow line down here on a leverage long, $4 million at 13.39. I don't want to see them go after that. Let's go after the shorts. But it's really out of control right now. I mean, it's like right now this is just a slow grind up that's happening on a Sunday. What's going to happen Sunday night? We'll be watching. But so far, Bitcoin has been churning upwards, which is good. Yeah, I don't really follow the Bitcoin Cash chart. Why is it surviving now? Do recovery inflows create stronger rebounds than normal bull market growth? The problem is the recovery tends to not be stable buying. And it could just turn around and drop lower. I like the normal bull market growth much, much better. And what happens when QE starts? Liquidity comes into the market. Hopefully more buyers than sellers. You were figuring BTC would bounce at 84? Yeah, how low did it go? I didn't even check. 83.4, 83,400. And then on Friday, it actually hit 80,500. That was the bottom of this local move here. 80,500 on the dip. But this is so far being a nice recovery here this weekend. Let's go. Do you think golden alt season? I'm not expecting a big alt season, Sky Limit. I'm really not. Now, overall, for all of alts, could like total 2 go up? Sure. But individual prices of individual altcoins across the board, you're not going to see that big growth because there's so many frickin' alts now. There's millions and millions of altcoins. And so all of that money is just getting spread out amongst millions of different stupid tokens. So even though total 2, total 3 might actually do well, the individual coin prices across the board aren't going to do well. There will be individual ones that could do well, though. And you just want to hope you're in those, right? So far we've seen like Zcash and BCH, right, is holding up well compared to others. But if you're not in those, hey, Ryan, welcome. Doge chart may also develop the same way Bitcoin Cash has been developing. Could see that. Yep, 80K was the sweep. And Dogecoin hit, what was the lowest on Doge? 1333. 1333 right there for Doge. That was the bottom of the local move right there. 1333. We're not too far from getting back in the red box here. My Sunday's going great. How are you? Patriots won today. They're now 10-2 if you follow football. I'm a fan. That was another good game. Well, not a great game. Squeaked it out. But you win. A win is a win. I'll take that. Z brushing. Hello to you. What's going on? I haven't been able to really catch up on what has been going on. And we still see Dogecoin in 9th position in all of crypto. It's still, it's under 4 billion away from Tron now. But Dogecoin performing much better than Tron today. So starting to make up some of that ground. The top leaders today are Zcash coming back up, still under 600. Remember, just a week ago, it was 700. And I was saying, hey, I wouldn't be buying this at 700. Well, it dropped into the 500s, but now it's up. It was like, I forget what it got down to, like 550. Now it's up back almost to 600. And there's Hedera right here. So those are the top gainers. We still have some losers down here. Toncoin, World Liberty Finance, Aster, Pump.Fun. Yeah, those are, you don't want to be in those. You don't want to be in those. Dogecoin's good. Hey, Shiva, during bull markets, big run-ups, what has been the most amount of viewers on your streams? I did hit over 1,000 once. And then I had a couple where it was like 700, 800. It'd be nice to see that again. It's hard to keep up with the chat when that happens, though. But yeah, there's still fear in the market. So this is what we got. But I'm thankful for all of you spending part of your Sunday here, just checking out what's going on. Appreciate it. Hey, Nye, how are you? Maramello? Marco? Yep. I'm glad I made the right choice about World Liberty Finance too, by not touching it. Anything that the Trump family has their fingers on, I ain't touching. I ain't touching. Hey, Davin, I bought a little more SWE and Doge. Yeah, SWE was down big too, right? SWE was down. CDC bought a little more, bringing your average down. Yes, Maramello, the Grayscale Spot Dogecoin ETF begins trading tomorrow. So we'll be watching that tomorrow. I forget off the top of my head what the ticker is for the Grayscale Spot ETF. Let's just ask Grok. What is the ticker for the new Grayscale Spot Dogecoin ETF? I just forgot. I asked Grok. G-Dog. That's what it is. G-Dog. Grayscale Dog. G-Dog. Isn't that a great name? G-Dog. So it is ready to start trading. G-Dog. Let's go. The flash crash that Friday had a lot of views. Yes. Those are the days when views don't matter. We were more like commiserating together, right? Trying to get through, just trying to get through what was going on. Let's go Browns. Hey, Shedeur Sanders, right? Is Shedeur going to really be something? It'll be fun to watch. ETF. There's no way we touch below 10 cents ever again. I'd like to think that, Marco, but we did hit 9.5 on the flash crash, October 10th. So there is a chance that we could dip into the 9s again. If things get frothy, right? More FUD, big pullback, some other black swan, then we could see that. Again, as I'm saying, it's all about the news that's going on. It has nothing to do with technical analysis. No TA is going to tell you what Dogecoin's next move is, whether it's up or down. It's just not. It's just not. Happy Sunday, Keen. How are you? CDC thinks 95,000 Bitcoin by the day before Thanksgiving. That would be a nice move for Bitcoin. 95 was last there on, well, just a week ago. That was just a week ago. Yeah, we could do that. If the downward slope, if we're done with that, right, this dip down to 80,500 was the final capitulation with the RSI like way down, right? And now we recover. Maybe. The great Dogecoin G-Dog. I like that. You've been saying that Monday may be alt season, right? All in one day? No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Bitcoin is showing way too much strength for it to really be alt season. Bitcoin dominance is still in the 59s, and it's actually ticking up right now too. It's actually back in its purple box right there. So that's not really alt season. Bitcoin dominance is going up right now. But you said tomorrow, so we'll see. Is this small Sunday pump going to stick? Good question. I would hope that the market makers are like, okay, we got enough. Because obviously there's buying going on. I mean, people are buying right now. The price is going up. Dogecoin. Danny thinks we're going to have a flash dip. The thing is, I can't say no. I can't say it won't. Hey, Johnny, what's up? Miss Charlotte, I spoke to someone this weekend who told me October 10th wasn't a crash. Somebody's not paying attention. What do you mean, not a crash? What was he thinking? Oh my God. Raven's in the house. How are you? Amazing Sunday evening. It is. Joshua here on the live. Going to catch up on 2X. I hope it's not a relief and more of a recovery. Yeah, these relief rally charts are just kind of, it just ends up going lower. We don't want that. We don't want that. Relief rally goes lower. Relief rally goes lower. Relief rally goes lower. We don't want that. We want it to recover, come back up and go higher. That is what we want. But we won't know when the rally starts, whether it's a recovery or relief. We won't know. I mean, if Bitcoin does get back to 100,000, many are saying it's just going to hit 100 and then drop. Could. That might happen. ETF should help. I mean, there could be some excitement about that tomorrow. There could be some excitement. I'm not getting my hopes up. There's going to be some huge, run up in the price of Dogecoin, but we could see a run up. You sold my H bar on the top, big green candles. That's what you do, right? Especially if you take a look at, you zoom out a little bit, and you see that big green candle, and you're like, okay, 15.5, that's good, right? That would have been the perfect spot to sell right there on the local run, right on that green candle up to 15.5. It's like, okay, I'll take that. Thank you. But if you bought it at 16, 17, you're selling at a loss. But if you bought it 2 years ago at 5 or 6, then you're taking profits. Who let the G-Dog out? Dream Whip. I've never been into a bear market since I got into crypto, but I was here during the 2024 end of year run. I have committed to at least a mini bear market, right? But not the full-blown bear. Again, it's the uncertainty. Is this going to be a recovery rally, or is it just a relief rally and we're going to go lower? Right? These examples here show, again, relief rallies. After we already hit highs, there's a relief rally and then it drops lower. That would be bear market stuff. Now, of course, with each of those, right, Bitcoin dropped below the 50-week moving average, and which is what we did here in 2025. On 2 of those occasions, both in 2017 and 2021, Bitcoin did trade up to at least reach that 50-week moving average again. So with that, we would expect Bitcoin would trade up to $101,000, $102,000 and at least touch the 50-week moving average like it did the last 2 cycles. That would be the true relief rally, would come back up, would hit that, and then drop lower. So that's a possibility. People may get all excited, Bitcoin going up through the 90s and hitting 100K. But I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Cable guy, you want to get some more Tesla? Tesla's a long-term hold now. That company is just going to keep doing great things. The tax live stream will be in about 3 weeks now. About 3 weeks. I don't know exactly which day. Last time we did it on a Wednesday, I think. when there wasn't a lot of other things going on. And so I dedicated that day to just talking crypto taxes. So, yep, it is coming in about 3 weeks. The epic annual tax live stream. So much fun. We're talking spreadsheets and IRS forms. It's very exciting. So exciting. Maramello just bought some Doge right here. Yeah, Mike Chop says, again, this could just be a relief rally. We're going to go up a little bit and then boom. I saw Ryan was here, Charlotte. He's lurking now. Ah, yeah, there he is. Yeah. Do recovery inflows create stronger rebounds? Oh, yeah, I already covered that. All my buys from yesterday are in the green today. It's nice when that happens, Jason. Let's hope it continues that way. We don't drop lower. The live streams are a lot more fun when everyone's in the green. So yes, I'm selfish that way. Let's go. Ah, you're driving. There you go. Got it, Ryan. Nice of you to tune in, though, from your car. Nice of you to tune in. I was watching football earlier, so I don't even know what's been going on. The Bitcoin wedge breakdown. RSI oversold. Everyone panicking. The pattern doesn't care about your narrative. Right? The pattern doesn't care about your narrative. We could bounce around and go higher, or we could bounce around and drop lower. No one knows. No one knows. Yeah. If your goal is to own one whole Bitcoin, then you probably want a big drop so you can buy in at a lower price, right? There's always that. Yeah, commitment. See, it takes commitment, Charlotte, in all things. Holding Dogecoin through the extreme fear, commitment. Driving while Kriss is live, but still tuning in, commitment. But don't text and drive, exactly. Your Pepe's down? Yeah, mine too. I don't know officially what my Pepe is down because I have not been watching. When things are in the red, I just don't pay as much attention to those kinds of things. My Pepe that I own is down 31%. 31%. I bought in the sixes, low sixes. And I thought that was a good price. I didn't know it'd be going into the fours. Yes, Patriots won today over Cincinnati. They didn't play their best game, but they did what they needed to win. And you bet them, so you win. Awesome. Yeah, Patriots have been good on the betting front this year. I don't do sports betting. I think the last time I did a sports bet was well over a year ago, and I was like, yeah, I'm done with that. Done with it. I could buy one Bitcoin, but I'd rather have more Doge. There you go, Jason. You were called a shitcoiner yesterday, but I told them I will never stop being committed to Doge. Must have been a Bitcoin maxi, huh? And there probably were Bitcoin maxis at a Bitcoin conference, right? You traded your Pepe for Doge. Some would say one shitcoin for another shitcoin, right? One meme for another meme. They are a shitcoiner. We all are shitcoiners then. It is crypto, by the way. And there's a lot of people that don't care what crypto you own. It's all garbage. Have I heard about the Bitcoin IPO theory? Yes, Devin, I have. Kind of interesting, but I don't think it's, I mean, people are trying to make excuses when I've already told you the reason with the market makers and the exchanges. That's my theory, and I'm sticking with it. All this other stuff is just FUD. OG whale selling because they don't like the update to the Bitcoin core because it allows easier attachments or larger attachments of JPEGs or other things to Bitcoin blocks. So what? Just like, come on. So OG whales are selling. They think Bitcoin is ruined. Oh, come on. But this idea about Bitcoin treasury companies, right, are selling their Bitcoin because they're underwater big time. That's real. But what caused it? It wasn't that, right? What caused it was the big flash crash. Again, I blame Binance, Wintermute, CZ, the market makers, and the exchanges. Yeah, the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, is gone. I think it's officially gone. Yes. There's still some other small little offshoot things that are still working. But I think the official Department of Government Efficiency is no more. Hey, Johanna, after I got done doing dishes, I was looking at the Bitcoin live chart. It was looking like the Bitcoin live chart, a massive green candle. I don't know. This has just been slow and steady. Just slow and steady. There's another CME gap. Oh, who CME gap? They only do Bitcoin CMEs. I don't know if there's other CME gaps. I don't think CME actually follows any others but Bitcoin. Hey, Miguel, I think it's going to be exciting. Is it going to cause the Dogecoin to price when the grayscale spot Dogecoin ETF launches tomorrow? Probably not. But we could see some excitement about it, and I'll be watching. I will be watching. But shitcoins are fun. But there's a lot of people in crypto that don't like them and think that Dogecoin is one of them. I get it, right? I get it. In fact, Dogecoin was created as a joke on cryptos, but it was more a joke about like everything except Bitcoin. And then Litecoin came in and saved the day, helped keep Dogecoin around in 2014. So Litecoiners, they're our friends too. So we like. But then, of course, if you do only good every day, you like everybody, right? It doesn't matter. That's the Doge ethos, right? It's all good. If Doge goes down to 9.2 during the Fed meeting, I'm buying. Well, now, why would you think it would do that? 9.2. That's a huge drop at this point. Oh, it was like seeing a massive green candle. Got it. Got it. Ryan and Charlotte, they just speak their own language here. How do coins burn and why? Sure. Well, coins don't burn. There is no burning of coins, right? Tokens can have a contract which gets them to burn, but coins, I mean, you could voluntarily send your coins to a burn wallet and that would burn them, but there's nothing in a coin code that does automatic burning. But token codes do have burning. The only reason you would burn tokens is to decrease the supply of your token, which many believe makes it more scarce. Then the price will go up. That's it. There was this whole thing about Shiba Inu, right? Was going to introduce this burn mechanism with Shibarium, right? So the more things were being built on Shibarium, the more Shibarium was going to be used, the more SHIB would be burned, right? Because there's way, way too many SHIB tokens out there. And there were a number of sites that were tracking the number of SHIB that were being burnt, but nobody was using Shibarium except those already in the SHIB ecosystem. So on a percentage-wise, barely any SHIB was actually burned. It was like a big nothing burger. But that's all it is. It's just like, it's a way to like create scarcity. But when you've got like 500 trillion tokens and you're burning like 20 million at a time, that's nothing. 20 million SHIB is nothing compared to 500 trillion. I think the Doge 1 token is a joke. Doge 1 token is just a big joke. Another stupid thing playing off the Dogecoin name. Right, Doge ethos, exactly. The Doge ethos. Do only good every day. I think there's more on the upside ahead of us than there is on the downside. I'd like to think that Doge keeps grinding up, keeps taking out these shorts, goes after the big ones up here over 16 cents. That's a lot of money up here. Millions and millions of dollars up here on shorts. Patriots 10-2, insane. They did have an easy schedule, but you only play the teams on your schedule. It is what it is. And the Patriots did beat the Bills. So Patriots are looking good in the East. The tokens go in, hope comes out as ashes. That's burning. You got it, Jason. Exactly. That is burning. The good definition right there. Hope. Hope. You hope the price of SHIB goes up. The number of SHIB that have been burned is just so small. It's nothing. But no, coins with their own blockchains do not have burning mechanisms built in. But there are sort of burn wallets that are created, and you could send your coins to a burn wallet, but why would you do that? Why would you do that? 1469 again for Doge. 1469. It's what we have for Dogecoin. So what else is on your mind, guys? I mean, what do you think, right? $100,000 Bitcoin by New Year's Eve, 50% say yes, 50% say no. Last week, it was all bear market, bear market, bear market. And now today, we're talking about relief rally or recovery. We could see either. Again, it's nice to see all these coins in the green, right? It's nice to see crypto in the green, except of course for World Liberty Finance in the red, Aster in the red, Toncoin in the red. It's like you don't want to be on those. Like Kronos, Crow is up. That's good. I got a bunch of that. Yeah, 50-50, Charlotte, exactly. That's about where I am too in this market. 50-50. How far ahead? No, this doesn't look ahead. This only looks present and behind. It doesn't look ahead. There's another chart that shows open interest in the future. But again, it's more of this in a different form, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You don't know what new trades are going to be in the future, positive or negative, shorting or longing. You don't know. DB's driving. Entertain you. Are you entertained? Are you? Hoping for the best, preparing for the worst. Miguel says, definitely getting relief rally. I see at least a green month for December. Yeah, that we could see that. We have had these rallies before after dropping below the 50-week moving average that did last a number of weeks. And it took a number of weeks before reclaiming the 50-week moving average before dumping lower. So that could get us through December if we repeat that kind of move. That could be. How does this dip compare to when you decided to go all in? Let's take a look at that. Good question. So we look on the weekly chart on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, again, has dropped. Well, down to the bottom, it was 35%. All right. So I went all in 2022. Well, I mean, it had already gone through like this big drop here, which was all this relentless, like red. Look at that on the weekly. That was 60%. And then it kind of went sideways from there. And then it had this final last dip right there that was like 30%. Yeah, that was about. Yeah, but it was after the 60% drop. And then it did this last 30. And then this is where I went all in. It was right in this range, right in here. So that's when I was buying. Well, I couldn't buy yet. That's when I had to sell the house. I had to get the cash out of the house. So yeah, it was more like these last like 3 weeks of December. And then in January, Bitcoin started going up. And then I stopped buying Bitcoin and I bought more alts. I was buying Doge as well in that range, but Doge was already over 7 cents at that time. Doge was actually doing pretty well at that time, because it was following the big Elon bought Twitter. You remember that? In October 2022, Elon bought Twitter. Twitter pumped over 150%, then came back down, had another secondary rally, and then dropped further. But it was always over 7 cents here. So when I started buying, I was buying in the 7 to 8 cent range for Doge. But I followed it up in the summer of 2023 with 5 cent and 6 cent Doge. So I wasn't making the same percentage-wise because Doge was already doing well. It was Bitcoin that was really depressed right there. And I was also buying Algorand at that time down here. because Algorand had dropped down to like 17, 16 cents. It ended up going even lower, but at that time, that was a pretty good price for Algorand. That Algorand buy didn't really do that well. Eventually got into Solana and Jasmy and others, and then sold to Solana, went into Cardano, like all of that. But that all led to my big gains this cycle. But it was those black swans that caused that big drop, which was Luna, manufactured by our friend CZ and Binance, of course, which triggered 3 Hours Capital, Celsius, Voyager, eventually BlockFi, and then the final straw, FTX. Like all of those black swans. This time we've only had the one, which was October 10th. That one. There haven't been other outfalls from that, other than things like what what people are saying now, because like the Bitcoin treasury companies are underwater. Some of them, maybe some pension funds, right, came in and started buying Bitcoin over 100K, and now they're down, and that doesn't look good. Are they selling Bitcoin? They could be. So there is selling pressure because of that. Don't forget to smash the likes. Thank you. Subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate it. The 1 week, 2 week RSI. I can show you the 1 week. Yeah, RSI is at 35. So that's pretty low. This is a bearish divergence, actually, on, what was that on? That was on the daily, right? Yeah, that was the daily. We had a bearish divergence here. Price was lower on April 10th than this current dip that we just had. So price is higher here, but the RSI went lower than it was. And that is called a bearish divergence. So if you follow that, that would say that what's happening right now with this green candle is going to be some kind of relief rally. We're going to get a little bit of pump, and then it's going to dump lower. That's what the bearish divergence would tell you if you're a TA person and you think like that's the truth. I don't. It just means the price didn't drop as much as it did in April. Just because the RSI is lower, that doesn't mean the price is going to go lower from here. There are plenty of times in the past where you see a setup with bearish divergence and the price ended up going back up. That's just how it works. Dogecoins is not bearish divergence. Dogecoins is actually bullish, because you look at where the price was here and you draw it down, and then you look where the RSI was on that dip and it goes up, which is a bullish divergence. So you got bullish divergence for Doge, bearish divergence for Bitcoin. I don't really follow that. I just want to see what the next big news is and what's the next move for the market makers. I think the ETF scarcity for Doge could rocket Doge up. ETF scarcity. Is there a scarcity, Jason? There's unlimited supply of Doge. Yes, manipulation yet again. What's the possibility of the new leverage longs getting taken out? Real. It's real. 13.3. We would get some more FUD thrown on the fire, right? They want to drop the price, they can drop the price. I would expect to see the the volume ticking down, and then they could make a big move. They keep putting in longs. We got a lot of shorts, indeed. I have an alert set with Grok for when Elon mentions Doge or anything crypto. Interesting. So what, Grok is going to call you up, send you a message, DM you, say, hey, King. Interesting. Yeah, Christian, I'd like to think that, but I've been through all of this kind of stuff before with Dogecoin. It generally doesn't happen. No FOMO. I'm not expecting it. I would like to be pleasantly surprised, but I'm not expecting it. He said he will DM you. Awesome. Well, that's nice of Grok. I hope Grok does that. That's actually a cool little feature there, right? That's a cool little feature. Grok could do that. No, volume is not up this weekend, Linda. This is like low volume, not much going on, but the price is going up. So it's definitely not being manipulated down. Because that's what it's been. Totally manipulation. Taking out leverage longs. Yeah, Monday or Tuesday dump, Miguel. We've seen it before, haven't we? It's like we know it's coming. So today, I'd like to think we are in price recovery. That's the thumbnail and the theme today, and recovery, but it could just be a relief rally and we go lower. More pumping, less dumping. I would like to think we just do that. We have it behind us. There's no doubt there was extreme fear. I mean, you saw it all over the news, all over crypto Twitter. Like everything was negative, except for the few like permabulls. But even some of them were just pointing to things showing lower. No, Ryan, it's not going to be called that. There's a certain kitty cat that doesn't like that. Doesn't like that term at all. Hey, Anthony, how are you? The grayscale custody Doge, potentially removing billions from circulation. Yeah, but then what happens when there's fear in the market and they all start selling? Then that Doge would have a lot of outflows. So it would be mass selling of Dogecoin, like we've seen with the Bitcoin coming out of BlackRock and Fidelity and ARK and all of those big Bitcoin ETFs. So yeah. That's a thing. We've seen it play out already. Paper hands, a lot of paper hand holders of ETFs. If Dogecoin ETFs attract 1 to 2 billion in assets under management, they could lock 5 to 10 billion Doge, offsetting 1 to 2 years of inflation. Yeah, because Doge is what, about 5 billion a year? Yeah. And that would be nice, like, because that's extra, right? These are most likely new buyers that wouldn't normally buy Dogecoin on exchanges. So yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Well, we'll see how the ETF does. I tried looking for numbers on that Rex Osprey Dogecoin ETF, and I couldn't find how much they actually have. Well, we could ask Grok, right? Let's ask Grok. See if Grok can find it. How much money in US dollars does the Rex Osprey Dogecoin ETF have in AUM? Let's see what Grok says about that. I'm guessing it's not a lot. 24 million. 24 million. So how many Dogecoin is that? You should just do the calculation. $171 million Doge. Is that right? 24 million assets under management. But then they go 14 million here. Oh, direct Dogecoin holdings. It's not a 1-for-1. Yeah, this is the stupid Rex Osprey thing. It's not 1-to-1. It's only 57%. Yeah, $24 million is not a lot. And this has been trading since September. So it's already been trading for over 2 months. 171 million Doge. It's a start. The crypto market is up somewhat. Time to start selling. You're going to get the cash and then you're just going to withdraw and you're out. You think we're in a full bear, huh, Anthony? Full bear. See, the thing with Dogecoin is it can pump at any time. It can pump anytime. Which is why I keep holding Doge. If I was going to sell, I'd sell some of my other crap tokens, but not Doge. If there's a relief rally and a big green candle of something, of some sort, I would probably sell some of my other alts, but not Doge. I wait for the real news on Doge. I'm not going to miss out on that. No way. But hey, that's just me. That's just me. There's nothing wrong with booking profit. If you can make profit and you can book it, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm a good example of that from last year. Yeah, Ukraine is not going to agree. I don't think Trump is blackmailing everyone. Trump is trying to come to some kind of peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. And he thinks the only way at this point for the fighting to stop is for Ukraine to cede some of its prior territory that now Russia controls to Russia, just to get the fighting to end. That's what he wants. But I don't see blackmailing going on. I mean, there's other shady stuff going on, like selling arms to Ukraine, like all that stuff. But is Anthony selling on the red? Hopefully he would see a green candle and sell on that green candle. Ramses is looking at 45-cent Doge to sell a quarter of his Dogecoin. I hope we get there. I know, you sell in the fear. Exactly, Charlotte. Did you learn that at the Bitcoin conference? Did they talk about that? Did they talk about that? But Christian, Ukraine isn't going to agree. They're stubborn. Zelensky is stubborn. He likes the free money rolling in. He doesn't want to do all of that stuff that Trump proposed with Russia. So it's not going to happen. Fly on CBS. I sold and took profits as well, still holding 375K Doge. Nothing wrong at all with doing what's best for you. Exactly. I did the same thing. And I thought Dogecoin was still going higher. But I did what I needed to do. Good day, Aussie. It's Monday there. What's going on? How's life on a Monday? You do you, but I ain't got time for selling. Do you still get taxed? Yes, you do. Even if it's a small portion. If you sell, and you get taxed on that amount, whatever it is. Even if you sold 10 Dogecoin and you were in profit, you owe tax on that profit. Again, in 3 weeks, we will be talking in detail all about taxes. The epic annual KrissPax crypto tax live stream in 3 weeks. It's going to be the live stream of the year. They mentioned the wrench. Really? The wrench. Again, we're going to be answering all of the tax questions in 3 weeks. But since you asked, could one almost pay nothing in taxes on your gains like if you've been holding for 8+ years? Nope. The price you bought is the price you bought, no matter whether it was last year or 8 years ago. Doesn't matter. They're still going to do the calculation or want you to do the calculation. Money in versus money out. Any of that that's in profit, taxable, capital gains. But if you've held for 8 years, at least it's a long-term capital gains tax, not a short-term. My average entry price on Bitcoin is 26,000. 26,000. And that's including the $10 of Bitcoin I bought at 125K, because that was just nothing. At 26,000. So I'm well in the green on my Bitcoin. Right. You're only taxed if you made a profit above your initial investment for those coins you sold. It's not compared against your entire investment if you only sell a portion of it. Like if you've got 100,000 Doge and you sell 10,000, then they're going to just look at those 10,000 Doge. What was your initial price of those 10,000 Doge? And then what was the price when you sold those 10,000 Doge? If that is in the green, you're liable to pay capital gains tax on that profit. Anthony, yeah, H-bar. H-bar was a good buy. It dumped hard, but then it came back. It's struggling to hold 15 cents right now. It's pulling back a little. But if you sold up here at 15.5, you did well. Now, if you want to hold until January 1st or sometime in 2026, yeah, then you don't have to pay your taxes on that until April of 2027. But you're better off just selling on the big green candle no matter when it happens. If you're looking at selling, because you don't know if the price is going to be higher or lower once it gets to January. You don't know. You're welcome, Kronos. Hey, RR. $10, king in the hill. Except I got beaten down when Bitcoin went up to 126. And so my Doge purchase was not the all-time highest anymore. But I held the crown for almost 2 months. I've withdrawn whatever money I had last week, and now I have withdrawn more cash, additional spending money for my overseas trip. Have a great trip, Anthony. Of course. The Santa rally, John, of course. The Santa rally this year. Jerome Powell is going to come out in December. He's going to give us a rate cut, and he's going to be wearing a Santa hat. I should actually make a little collage meme, Jerome Powell with a Santa hat. I should do that. Say, sure, Powell, are you giving us a Santa rally this year? I should do that. I'll have Grok do it for me. I'll put in a Chirpow picture and have Grok give me a Chirpow back with a Santa hat on it. I will also be glad if the worst of the downturns are done. It was a totally manufactured thing. It was not the Trump-China tariffs that caused the flash crash. No. That was manipulation. You've got a heap of losses from buying the top, the previous cycles. Lessons learned, not making the same mistakes. Mark my words. There you go, Aussie. ETF, rate cuts, end of QT, all of that before the end of the year. Mentally summoning the Pax Cat. He joined us the other day. Not today. Powell's getting coal for Christmas. He should be handing out big sacks with Dogecoin icons. So Anthony says, whatever happens the following weeks till the end of the year, no more buying. Unless Bitcoin goes down to $100. Oh. Got it, Ryan. You guys. Maybe the market makers will take advantage of good news and manipulate a bit to squeeze some shorts. We would like that. All these shorts up here, just go get them. 16 to 16.5, huge amount of shorts on Dogecoin. Let's see does the X Money account still say 2025 at X Money. Yep, launching in 2025. It's still there. Time's a ticking, guys. Time's a ticking. It says launching in 2025. It's still there. We are ready. X Money. We are ready. Elon's got 38 days to get X Money out, which would launch a bull run on Doge. SHIB would probably follow at about half the gains, because that's what SHIB does. And everything else can just kiss Doge's ass, because Doge will be leading the charge. They want to take out those shorts, right? Well, if X Money launches and Doge starts taking off, Doge will lead the entire crypto market up, and the market makers can then take out those shorts. That could happen. Bookmark that. Mark my words. How far are we into this for that to come up? Where's my little timer? About an hour and 20 minutes in. They lose just as much money having to pay out shorts as when they pay out longs. It's just harder to get them to move the market up. It's easier to dump. If indeed the markets manipulate, the Bitcoin ETF outflows from investors were real. Yes, they were. They were real. ETF holders have paper hands. Well, at least half of them have paper hands, and they will sell when there's fear in the market. That we have learned. Even the ones that bought IBIT, which is the BlackRock ETF. That's what we've learned. Yeah, Yeely, I don't get every question. Ask it again, please. An alt season with Dogecoin in the lead. It can happen. There's no reason not to be optimistic. It still says right there, launching in 2025. I've been saying that since January 1st. Since January 1st. The market makers all get coal for Christmas as well. Sure. And the ETF will, people will buy the ETF when there is greed. Yes, they will buy. They will buy at the top. We are on the up. Yes. We're looking to Bitcoin to get to 88,000. We're at 87,900. So we're looking to get over that 88,000 mark. And Dogecoin, well, I mean, the bottom of the red box is 15.4. 15 gets us by this resistance line. So there's two resistance lines here, one at 15 cents, one at 15.4, that Dogecoin has to get over. The universe doesn't care about your wants nor feelings. Nothing good comes from fear. Conviction is what it takes. The universe will follow. Thank you, Elon. That's a good quote. I like that. I like that. Let's do it. Let's go. I'm just thinking, since the cycle is all wonky and things aren't going anywhere near how they usually do, we might as well be optimistic. Is the bull market coming back or over? Yeely, we don't know. We spent a good deal of time earlier talking about relief rallies versus recovery. And it's going to take us a little time to figure that out. So there's no answer right now, unfortunately. RR, good night. DCA and hold, swim with the whales. Exactly. For me, Anthony says, when X money is out, Doge will lead the way, are false hopes and wishful thinking. Yep. Maybe that's true, Anthony. Maybe, but I've seen it before where Doge pumps on news like that. Yeah, Matt, that's the one thing about Elon. He's really not good with schedules. So he said 2025. The X money account still says 2025. I don't know who runs this page, but it still says 2025. So we'll see. The MSCI index. Strategy and treasury companies won't get into stock indices until January 15th of next year. I don't think that's a big deal. It does kind of lead to more long-term steady buying, but we can see those stocks that are in different indexes can drop just as well. Sergeant Squid, hope we bounce here. DB's home. Yep. Kriss is going to end the stream now. Yeah, I will in a few minutes. Got to go make dinner. Yep. Rip DB. Exactly. But thanks for checking in. Appreciate it. Tomorrow's going to be an exciting day. The Grayscale Spot Dogecoin ETF is launching tomorrow, Monday. So we'll be watching what happens with that. We'll check in on that on the Monday live stream. So be sure to check in on that. I hope everyone has a great Sunday. And for people like Aussie and Anthony, where it's already Monday, have a good day. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.